relax. I'm like a red licorice.
One of the things about going for the ride, it's a lot easier to go for the ride when you are good at associating in. And so for Deborah, it's really easy. She'll just associate in, and she will be able to go for the ride.
Anyone who wants to go with me, just come on my shirt tail.
So I've never had Turkish black licorice.
Yeah, now,
I'll bring you some too.
Okay.
those of you who work with clients, one of the things about compulsion blowout is that not everything that's a compulsion is a nice, clean, easy little compulsion. An example of a clean compulsion, I think we've talked about, a woman who was actually supposed to be here today, but her husband had knee surgery, and so she decided that rather than let him suffer alone, she would suffer with him. He liked chocolate chip cookies, especially those slice and bake ones that you buy this thing, yeah, you know, they're the worst possible kind for you, right? That you slice and you cook, and you end up with a batch of chocolate chip cookies. And they're actually pretty edible when they first come out of the oven. But if you let them stick around for the next day, you realize that this is not food meant for human consumption. And so she would fix this batch of cookies, and her husband would eat 2. She was compelled to eat the rest. She couldn't stand to let them get cold where they would no longer taste good and throw them out. And so she would just go ahead and eat the whole. So that was her compulsion. Easy to blow out, kind of similar to your compulsion. We had another woman, hasn't been with us for a long time, but when she was, her compulsion was buying 8.5 by 14 yellow legal tablets. And she had closets full of them, floor to ceiling. She could not go into a store where they were, this is true, I'm not making this up, am I?
And
She
not
would
exaggerating.
go into a store where they were sold, and she would buy every one they had. Now, when we explored this compulsion, rather than just blow that compulsion out, we explored motivation for that. She wrote, she did writing, and she used the yellow legal tablets. And she felt that she needed the yellow legal tablets to bring out her creativity. And she had heard a rumor that they were going to stop making the yellow legal tablets. And you may have heard that rumor, but it was going around for a while. Well, you know, now that we have word processors, we don't need yellow legal tablets. Well, that really was a rumor rather than the truth, but she had this fear that she was going to run out of yellow legal tablets and wouldn't be able to buy more.
And therefore her creativity would stop.
And all of her creativity would stop. So we didn't do just a simple compulsion blowout on her, because we wanted her to be able to feel that she could be creative regardless of what she was writing on, rather than just simply not buy. I mean, she had a lifetime supply already. In fact, she's probably left them to Deborah in her will. Sometimes there, but yours is a pretty simple one, right? What is yours?
Most of it. Mints.
Mints. Okay.
I used to be gum, and then I switched to mint. Well, I mean, I've always, if I have one mint, I want to have like the whole thing.
Okay.
Red licorice too.
Now,
but
how do you know you're compulsive about the mints?
Yeah, where do you draw the line between compulsion and just liking them?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
repetitive.
after here.
like if I'm
is-
driving home, I eat them. Like I'll have one. Like it's like a fresh breath thing, and then I'll have one. Then I'll no, and I can't like say, well, you've had like 5 or 10. That's
You can't stop. You can't
Okay.
stop.
or lifesavers. You
You
just
just
minty
Until you run out of
lifesavers.
them.
I'm like,
Oh, you do the same thing with lifesavers.
oh yeah, the
And-
minty ones, the fresh breath ones. You know, the ones I associate. Not
Okay,
the.
what about the colored ones?
No, I used to those.
Okay, what makes those different?
Something about that mint or that wintergreen kind of deal going on. That explosion of flavor, fresh breath thing, I don't know what. And it used to be gum, like I said, somehow I got rid of gum.
Okay. And
How do you be gum? You mean you just chew it and spit it out?
I used to
Chew
chew
it
gum
and spit it out?
repetitively, yeah.
Like this, but how long would you chew before you spit it out?
Till the flavor ran out, and I was like,
You put another one?
yep. It was like a cigarette smoker almost, like it would just eat gum repetitively. Thinking it was for fresh breath, but then it became like a
there is
compulsion.
a difference. Those of you who are thinking, well, this is like smoking, but
Yeah,
smoking
there's
is
no-
an actual addiction to nicotine. And people get addicted to the nicotine, and so they're going for nicotine fix. They may also have a compulsion to
Right.
keep one in their hand and to keep one going, but the nicotine is a driver there rather than that.
Sure.
Now, how do you know when to have a new mint? You have a mint, how do you know when to have?
Well, I always want to suck on the mint, but then I find myself chewing it before I even, like somebody else will suck on the mint, and they're like sucking on it for a couple minutes, and I just chew it.
And then you need
It's
another.
like the Tootsie Pop, but you get to the...
The other day I had a Tootsie Pop before I went skydiving, and I had the thing down before everybody else was sucking on there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever those Tootsie Pop things.
That's chocolate candy on a stick.
Yeah. I don't even eat this stuff, but it was offered, and I was nervous, so I ate it. I can't like just, so.
Okay, all right. She just gave us a clue.
Yep. What did I say?
Nervous.
Ah, interesting. And it is more like on the way to, that's a good point, on the way to work, I don't have the need to have a bunch of mints. It's on the way back when I'm thinking about the stuff that happened, and I'm going,
Okay.
same thing with gum, how I used to do
Okay.
gum, so that's a good point.
Now, as you begin to think about this in terms of compulsion, is there a driver for the need, or is it more of fidgeting to dispel nervous energy?
Is there a driver?
Yeah,
Or is it-
if because you have the mints with you all the time, right? And so, like with a compulsion, the thing would be, well, how do you know when to have one?
Mm-hmm.
And you just said, well, I don't need one on my way into work.
Right.
But when I'm thinking about stuff that happened at work, so you're using this as a way to dispel
I guess.
nervous energy.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay?
Yep.
All right.
It's
So
probably true.
this may not be quite the simple compulsion that we thought it was when we started.
May not be
Because
something she wants to get rid of.
It's not as though like with the chocolate chip cookies, if you're looking at this thing of freshly baked cookies, they're right there saying, wow. And what we did with the chocolate chip cookies is we made it bigger, brought it closer until it popped through this top side of attraction. So if you move them far enough away, they're not really compulsive. Get them in a certain distance, they're compulsive. They get closer, they lose all their appeal. And so I'm not really certain that we have a driver for that other than this nervous sense that you have about that.
I wondered if that was part of it, but I didn't
And what's
totally
the other,
connect it.
okay, hang on to that. The part